Welcome to Hadoop Exam Learning Resources. In this session, we are going to discuss regarding Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Service is an infrastructure provided by Amazon. So this infrastructure contains the various servers, data centers, regions, locations, network. Inside itself, a complete network is implemented. Private cloud you can create. You can install your own software. So this is infrastructure as a service, software as a service. So both are combined. This you just use their infrastructure. You can install your custom software, you can install your own already provided the software by the Amazon, or many more things you can do this. So this is just an infrastructure on which you install your software. So you are not going to buy any hardware or anything. So let me tell you, they give you an example. Suppose you hadoopexam.com is just a company who is want to start their own, but they don't have a lot of funding to buy a services like to install sorry, big servers or anything. So what they can do, this they can go to the amazon.com, they just create a login, register their credit card, and using the few hundreds of dollars we can start using their servers. So this is the Amazon website. Let's assume it. This is Amazon website. You just log in and choose the servers like you want to use it, and then you can deploy your website on this servers and just start using it. So we have not spent any amount on the infrastructures or like creating new servers. We have not spent too much time. We just create our web application and we deploy on the servers. So many more things we can do. Actually, I'm just giving you an example so you can just get to know what exactly is Amazon Web Service. So built-in software, you can use it, or you can use your custom software. On AWS you can deploy your enterprise application, your big data applications, your many more applications like web applications, your iPhone application, your Android application, etc. Highly scalable and fault tolerant. What exactly is scalable? Like scalable means like suppose this is your website. Let me clean it out first. Suppose hadoopexam.com is our website, correct? hadoopexam.com is our website, and initially we have per day like approximately one or a few hundreds of users interacting this website. But later on, after few months, as we become popular, our number of hits increase per day to the lakhs. Like I can say per or 1 lakh hits we are getting it. So now, but the servers on which this website is hosted was only 2 servers, right? And that is not good enough like for this so many users. So our website getting slower day by day. So what we can do using the Amazon infrastructure, we just have to configure few more servers. That's all. We don't have to again buy the new servers, correct? We just say like install my web application of on 10 servers, and whenever there is a huge load, then increase the number of servers up to 15 servers or something. And whenever there's a less load, then come to the up to the 3 servers. So you can say higher watermark would be 15 and lower watermark would be 3, right here. So whenever the huge load you reach up to 15, and this is minimum web server. Okay, so based on this, your number of servers go up and down, and only the amount you would be charged for the servers is for the servers you are using it. If you are not using your servers, you won't be charged. So that's the beauty about the any clouds computing is infrastructure like IBM cloud, Azure cloud, Amazon cloud, etc. So this way you can increase or decrease your number of servers based on the load, number of users. Okay, now let me give you the basic overview of the Amazon infrastructure. So like this is infrastructure layer, like there's physical hardware actually installed here on the Amazon. Let's assume this is the base layer. Okay, this is infrastructure. On this layer you are going to create virtual private cloud, that is VPC. Okay, virtual private cloud is the private cloud. You inside the cloud, Amazon cloud, you are going to create it. We will discuss this. And then you can install your EC2 instances. What is EC2 instances? Is like you can assume this is the one virtual machine assigned with some RAM and the processes based on you, whatever you required, you just choose for this. So EC2 instances can be installed on this, and this EC2 installs are attached with the hard drive. That is, in here there is no hard drive specific, elastic block storage. Okay, so this is elastic block storage which is equal to the hard drive of your system. Let's assume it, that is called EBS. Okay. And other than that, there is another ELB, elastic load balancers are softwares, and many other softwares are provided. Other than that, this is the your DynamoDB database. DynamoDB database. This is NoSQL database. This is S3 storage. That is the best storage provided by Amazon. This is the Glacier storage. Glacier storage is for the like backup or archival purpose. Like in our enterprise, we see like every day we take a backup drive, correct? In the tab. So this in the like this archival storage very cheap and very like very cost efficient using compared to your tab drive or something. So Amazon provide this Glacier, so you can store your daily archival whatever you want to do this. And so if you need a storage like huge storage like which is fast enough, so you can use the S3 storage. This is like you can store 5 up to 5 GB size file, single file size 5 GB, but hundreds thousands of terabytes of data you can store here. Okay, in the S3. So we'll discuss about S3 in more detail when we'll go. This is very important services. This DynamoDB is NoSQL database provided by the Amazon infrastructure. So this is some of the examples the Amazon services provided by Amazon. Okay, so now let's move to further. Okay, just a minute. So this is the image actually which this PDF I'm going to share with you. So in the description section of the video you can get this download link for this PDF. So this is what we were discussing. This is AWS infrastructure. On this VPC is there, elastic block storage, EC2 instances you are going to create it, scaling is provided, auto scaling, ELB, elastic load balancing. We'll discuss on this. DynamoDB for NoSQL database. This is simple DB, Redshift. So various, there are hundreds of services provided. This is the Glacier. This is very important. Or this storage are hugely used. The hugely used component is the Amazon EC2, S3 storage, and Glacier. And then DynamoDB for the most of the Android application developers, iPhone application developers started using it. And if you want to decouple your applications like messaging infrastructure you need it, then you use the SQS service. That's a simple notification service. In app you see like you get the notification like if your gaming applications new game is up, features are launched, and then push notification sent by the developer using SNS. Okay, so this way you can create your applications and use this various components. So now let's move to the Amazon regions and uh, mm, so let me uh, what exactly is the reasons, correct? We will be discussing reasons and availability zone. Okay, let me type availability zone. So reason is exactly is the location. So US region, correct? UK region, Australia region, and I can say Singapore region. Let's for few example. So these are the reason. In this region Amazon creates the various availability zone. Okay, so these are four reasons right now we have discussed. So let me again clean it out. And then so this is one reason. Reason is physical location. Inside this physical location various availability zone. Is it one? I would say availability zone 2 and availability zone 3. Okay, so this all three availability zones are connected with each other. Okay, so what exactly? So this is where the Amazon create the infrastructure, so their physical servers, their networking and everything is being done in the region level. So each region has various availability zone, and each availability zone has your thousands of racks, and all the racks are connected with each other, and each racks has hundreds or thousands of servers installed in it. This is physically installed on this, correct? So this is where exactly your physical box comes into the picture. So however, there's not, when you work on Amazon Web Service, so there's no point of just thinking about the physical box or something. You just need to take care of the locations of your availability zone and your region. So each availability zone is, you can assume, is one data center, which is equivalent to one data centers, which has their own power, their own cooling systems, their own servers and everything, and each availability zone inside a region are connected. That is very important point to remember. Okay, but if you consider another reason, correct, so reason 2. So, and this is also has three availability zone inside this. Okay, let's see this three inside. So these two regions are not connected with each other. So you can only connect this boxes from one region to another region using the internet, but they are not like directly connected as like by Amazon Amazon itself, provided by Amazon. Okay, so in availability zone, these three zones are connected. However, keep in mind this each are 5 to 15 miles away from each other. So physically availability zone is also far away from each other. Why? Because suppose any disaster happens or entire availability zone goes down in a region, then still two availability zones are available. So now let's assume that your application is installed. Okay, let me clean it out here. This is availability zone 1, zone 2 and zone 3. Suppose your application is installed, web applications, which is used by millions of iPhone users or Android users. Okay, this is installed on this availability zone on multiple boxes. Let's say you made a clustering, three boxes you have clustered, and your application using all three boxes, correct? But somehow the earthquakes or something, some natural disaster happen, and this entire availability zone goes down. So immediately your millions of users who are using your application through this internet will not be able to access until and unless this availability zone is being repaired, and your data would be available or something. So to avoid such kind of situation, you have to always deploy your application at least two availability zone. You have to cluster it including two availability zones. So let's say in this example, if I want to cluster it, so let's the cluster is on the 6 node, 3 node from availability zone. Node is a one virtual box, so you can assume one machine. Okay, so you can cluster it all this 6 node, and if suppose in any situation this entire availability zone is goes down, then still your end user, okay, end user, like through ELB, elastic load balancer, it tries to connect, and this knows, like ELB knows like which node is alive and which node. So it says like this is not there, so it will automatically connect from here. So that is the responsibility of elastic load balancer. So this balance the load, and it knows like which servers and boxes are up and running. So if a natural disaster happens, so you can even configure more available, all three availability zone, it's up to you. Okay, so that is the best way to make your application. If you imagine, if you have to create such infrastructure your own entirely, then it would be very costly, and you need a huge IT infrastructure team and everything. So clouds provide you this in just a few hundreds or thousands of dollars, this service, and you can use it. So you don't need like too much infrastructure facility and risk of running out of power, or cooling systems or many more things. You just need to configure the things and use it. That's the best thing about the Amazon Web Service or any cloud computing solutions. Okay, so now the important point here is like the two reason R1 and R2, they are not connected with each other. Suppose you have created one resource here like Amazon machine image, that is like virtual machine you have created here in region 1, and if you want to use it in region 2, then it is not possible directly you can use it. You have to first manually through internet copy this AMI from this region to this region. So for the certification perspective, keep in mind this, we are creating training specifically for the certification. So one resource is created in region would not be used in another region until and unless you copy it, correct? So Amazon AMI, so like Amazon machine image, that is virtual machine, with the storage you can also copy EBS, that is elastic block storage, that is equivalent to hard drive. You can entirely copy on from this regions to this region, and then you can start using it, but by default it is not available. But in case of availability zone AZ1, if you have created this AMI, then this would be definitely you can configure the same AMI in another region, because these availability zones are connected with each other in the same region. So that is the important topic here, point here to remember. I'm going to share this PDF actually with you, this PDF, in which we have described this, we have mentioned this points. Okay, so as of now there are 9 reasons available. uh, so total reasons we were talking about, so like US region, UK region, Europe Singapore region, Australia region, etc., correct? So this, there are 9 or 11 region even nowadays available. So this is US region, this is UK region, this is Australia region, this is Singapore region or something, correct? Okay, so now these are not connected with each other. Okay, so now suppose your base consumer is from the UK. Most of the consumer are from UK. So where should, which region you should prefer to install your application? Definitely UK, because if you may install your application in US for the UK users, then definitely this would be the slower one, because it really take the time to send data from here to here. So to avoid such kind of latency, always install your application and to the region which is near to the your base consumer or most of the user from where you get it. So out of 11 reason, there is one special reason, US government cloud, that is called, and this cloud is specifically for US citizens. So if you are not a US citizen, then avoid using this cloud. Okay, so this is not meant for you, this is only for US reasons. Now let's so reason you have understood is one geographical location, reason is one geographical location, and inside regions there are multiple availability zone, and one availability zone is equal to uh, one data center. So if you create a resource in one region like Amazon machine image, by default it will not be available in another region. You have to copy it manually from source region to the destination region, and then you can use it. Okay, so you let me give you, show you one more figure here. So this is the figure, like here regions, like in yellow dots you can see the regions, and each region has availability zone. These blue markers are availability zone. So so like region has like many one or more or multiple availability zone. Okay. Um, Now let's move further, and it is good to deploy your apps always possible to for near to your end user, as we have discussed. Like for example, if the majority of your users are from the UK, it will be best to go with the Europe or Ireland region because it is the nearest one. Other points to consider when choosing which reasons to use on it. So that another point is also legal reasons, and cost is the reasons if you want to choose it. Some reasons are costly compared to this. all the major AWS services other than CloudFront service like Amazon CloudFront and Route 53. Other than this too, all the services are available in all the regions. Suppose you are using the command line tool to access your services, then you have to provide the region endpoint into the command line tool. So what exactly is the region endpoint? A region endpoint is like similar to this, like this is US East Northern Virginia. So this is EC2 US East 1 Amazon.com is the your like endpoint. Okay, if you are launching instance, you have to select Amazon machine image which resides in the same region. If your AMI is in another region, you have to first copy that AMI to your existing working region to launch it. Okay, so that's the point we want to discuss is, and we can copy both types of AMI like ABS backed AMI, or ABS is like elastic block storage which is equivalent to your hard drive. So entire your AMI with the elastic block storage would be copied, or instance store based AMI. So we'll discuss what instance store based AMI. Okay, so now let's move to the next topic is a little bit further on availability zone which we have discussed actually. Okay, so each region can have multiple availability zone. Um, so let me write down the topic here, availability zone. So this is called like when your application is deployed based on more than one availability zone, then that is known as multi-AZ deployment, multi-availability zone deployment. So you would be using these nodes from the like this is from AZ1 availability zone 1, this is from availability zone 2, and then your application is installed on both 1 and 2, then this is called multi availability zone deployment. Okay, so if breakdown occurs or something goes wrong here, then still your applications is available. Every availability zone may have one or more multiple data center inside this, but let's assume right now for simplicity one availability zone is equal to single data center. So always be redundant across availability zone. As we have discussed, our application should always be across availability zone. Okay, so like we have discussed, this is our ELB, elastic load balancer, user and user called using the your DNS service, and then internally ELB would be used, and ELB redirect your request according to which availability zone. So now this is the one reason, correct? But keep in mind, very important point here is this is reason one. Okay, and this is, let's say, let me delete it out. It's very simple. This is reason one, this is reason two, and this is your end user, and this is ELB, elastic load balancer, in between. Call in this service and it will redirect. Is it possible scenario? No, ELB cannot cluster across the region, keep in mind. So that is very important point for the exam perspective. So if you're writing the certifications based on this, if you get an options like ELB can be used with the across the regions, so obviously no, answer is no. So this kind of scenario is not possible. The only ELB works on a single region. That is very important point to remember. Okay, so let me show you one more diagram here which will help you. So this is the, here you can see this is the user using route 53, like your hadoopexam.com is my URL which points to the elastic load balancer ELB, and ELB would be you see here availability zone A and availability zone B, and this is my auto scaling servers. Like what auto scaling we'll discuss further later, but let's right now assume it's on a single availability zone. It cannot span across your um, reasons. Okay, so it can be only a single reason. Okay, so when you launch a single EC2 instance, you are launching a virtual machine running on a physical server on one of the Amazon data centers. So suppose you have you are going to start one EC2 instance. So where exactly that would be started, you don't know, but you know only in which availability zone I want to start this EC2 instance. So this is one virtual machine would be assigned for you to your work. The physical machine on which your EC2 instance is set could fail. The data center within which the physical machine is located could fail. So this kind of failure could happen. So to avoid this, you always deploy your application across multiple availability zones, and each availability zone is far away from each other, 5 to 15 miles. Okay, keep in mind that is very important. So whole cluster of availability zone is known as region. So multi-availability zone is, you should assume that anything can fail, and so based on this, so okay, some services you do as a multi-asset availability zone deployment, but by default there are some services also multi-availability zone deployment. Like one of the example is RDS, Relational Database Service. This is like MySQL or Oracle or database, correct? So these services are by default, by not by default I would say, it's you have to configure, like you have to mark it checkbox, like I wanted multiple availabilities on the deployment of my relational data set. It, because it would cost you. Okay, so it's not free. Multi availability zone deployment, it is always cost you. So whatever you use it, you have to pay for it. So that's Amazon concept. uh, so some AWS services such as Amazon RDS, where AWS manages a relational database instance of you, have built-in support for multi-AZ, and enabling it requires simply checking a box in the configuration. You can go beyond multi-availability zone using the multi-region we have discussed, correct? We cannot create the cluster by default across the region 1 and region 2 if I want to this, correct? But it is possible. In general, this is not done by smaller company, that is for very huge companies create, because it involves the complexity, cost, approvals, many things it requires. So generally across region clustering is not easy to implement, or small company don't implement it until and unless there is a mandate from somewhere or from management, then only this kind of clustering is created. But that's multi-availability zone deployment is also quite a good enough, because each availability zone far 15 miles far away from each other at least. So if disaster happens, then still they can survive. Okay, entire regions. So this is about availability zone and reasons in Amazon Web Service. Thanks for watching, and this training is specifically helpful for the Amazon's associate level certifications, like for the solutions architect. Hadoop, at hadoopexam.com you can see, like we provide the certification solutions to get clear the exam. So we have we are providing the practice questions and make material for the certification, and we have just started the training. So this is the initial sessions of the Amazon Web Service certification. So for the developer associate level, and this is for sysops associate level, this training would helpful. So please keep visiting hadoopexam.com for further sessions, and on Amazon Web Service, and as well as if you were watching this videos on YouTube or Vimeo, so I would suggest you subscribe this channel, because we are adding new videos, so you can get the alert as soon as we add the new videos. So thanks for watching, and I hope it would help you to learn your Amazon Web Service. Thank you.